The foundation of human rights is embedded in the Constitution of India. The following parts are, what are the parts in the Constitution? First is the preamble. Second is part 3, the fundamental rights provision. The third is the part 4, that is directive principles, and the fourth is part 4a, that is about the fundamental duties. In Constitution, as there are rights, we have the citizens, the duties to follow. So let's discuss each one of them in detail. So let's begin with the first, that is the preamble. If you want, you can write down the bullet points as well. By listening to the word preamble, you know what do I remember? When I was in school, when there were school days, we used to say the preamble in our assembly. See, what does it consist of and what the words are important in the preamble? The Constitution of India begins with the preamble affirming its aims, objectives and the guiding principles. Preamble is a basic structure of the Constitution with the terms justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of the status and of opportunity and to promote among them all, fraternity assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and the integrity of the nation. The preamble secures many human rights which are further explained in the various provisions of the constitutions. So, wasting no time, let's move with the second part, that is the fundamental rights. Now you all must be thinking, just now we learn about human rights. Now what are the fundamental rights? See guys, there is a thin line difference between the fundamental rights and the human rights, but fundamental rights are basically human rights. In Indian Constitution, the fundamental rights are mentioned in the part 3 and articles from 12 to 35. Major feature of the fundamental rights. How are the fundamental rights important? What are the basic features? So, they are enforceable by the higher courts in India. Secondly, Article 32 provides the rights to the aggrieved ones whose fundamental rights have been violated or denied to the petition the Supreme Court for the enforcement of the fundamental rights. The next comes is the Article 13, which evaluates the authority of the fundamental rights. It ensures that the state or the other competent authority do not make laws including the ordinances, orders, bylaws, rules, regulations, notification, customs or usages that contradicts or takes away or breaches the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are mostly enforceable against the state and in some cases against the private persons. An example of the former is the right to freedom of speech or expression. For the latter, it's for prohibition of the employment of children below the age of 14 years in factories, mines and in places of hazardous activities. The term state includes the government, parliament, state legislature, district boards, panchayat, municipalities and other authorities of the organizations that are an instrument or agency of the state like the Indian Oil Limited, Karnataka State Road Transportation Authority, Delhi Jail Board and so on. Fundamental rights which are mentioned in the part 3 of the Indian Constitution, they are categorized as under. Now what are the fundamental rights? So first right comes as right to equality, that is Article 14 to Article 18. The right to equality includes equality before law, the prohibition of the discrimination on the grounds of the religion, race, caste, sexual orientation, gender or gender identity and or the place of birth, equality of opportunity in matters of the employment, the abolition of untouchability and abolition of titles. The next is right to freedom. It is from Article 19 to 22. The right to freedom, it includes freedom of speech and expression, assembly, association or union or cooperatives, the movement, residence and right to practice any profession or occupation. The next comes is the right against exploitation, that is from Article 23 to Article 24. The right against exploitation, it prohibits all forms of the forced labor, child labor and trafficking of human beings, etc. Children under the age of 14, they are not allowed to work. Remember, you have this provision article in the Constitution. Right to freedom of religion, that is Article 25 to 28. The right to freedom of religion, it includes the freedom of conscience and free profession, practice and propagation of religion, freedom to manage religious affairs, freedom from certain taxes, and freedom from religious instructions in the certain educational institutions. Next comes is the cultural and the educational rights. Now that is Article 29 to Article 30. The cultural and the educational rights, they preserve the right of any section of the citizens to conserve their cultural language or script, and the right of minorities to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice. And the last is right to constitutional remedies, that is Article 32. The right to constitutional remedies is present for the enforcement of fundamental rights. Besides, the right to privacy is protected as an inherent part of the right to life and personal liberty under Article 21 and as part of the freedoms guaranteed by Part 3 of the Constitution. It provides the inner sphere of the individual from interference from both the state and the non-state actors, and it allows the individuals to make the autonomous life choices. Why are fundamental rights important for a human? Now moving forward, on August 24, 2017, the Supreme Court of India ruled that, what did Supreme Court say? Right to privacy is an integral part of right to life and personal liberty, which is guaranteed in Article 21 of the Constitution. Article 21 is right to life. Now, Article 19 ensures the following freedom to all the citizens. Now, what are the freedom to us? We like when we have freedom, when anyone gives us freedom. So what is Constitution giving us? Article 19 ensures the following freedoms of the citizens. What are they? The first is freedom of speech and expression. The second is freedom to assemble peacefully and without arms. The third is freedom to form association or unions. The fourth comes as freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India, freedom to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India, and freedom to practice any profession or to carry out any occupation, trade or business. But the point that you need to pay attention here is these freedoms are not absolute in nature. They rather come up with some reasonable restrictions. And the following table will explain those reasonable restrictions. With the first column, it enlists the freedom, and the second column describes the restrictions or conditions in which the respective freedom is not applicable. This table will be seen in this video. You can see the table here, and I'll tell you what is the freedom and what are the restrictions to it. Okay? So here comes the first freedom, that is freedom of speech and expression. What's the restriction to it? Sovereignty and the integrity of India, or the security of the state, or friendly relations with the foreign state, or public order, or decency or morality, or contempt of court, or defamation, or incitement to an offense. This is the reasonable restriction for the freedom of speech and expression. Second is the freedom to assemble peacefully and without arms. What is the restriction? Sovereignty and integrity of India or public order. The third comes is freedom to form association or unions. What's the reasonable restriction to it? Sovereignty and integrity of India or public order or morality. The next is about the freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India and freedom to reside and settle in any part of territory of India. The restriction to it is interests of the general public or for the protection of the interest of any scheduled tribe. Next is the freedom to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or business. This is interest of the general public or the state which has prescribed professional or technical qualifications or state-run trade, business, industry or service which excludes participation of citizens or others either completely or partially.